Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the MMA Huddle. You're joined by myself and Big Willie Style. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us as always. It's great to have new subscribers as we are getting them in every week, so thank you all for joining. If you are new to the channel, just checking this out, hit the subscribe button. Join in the conversation below. Let us know your picks and let us know if you've got any bets this week. Now, this card is headlined by Jessica and Cynthia Calvillo. I did say it out loud. So look, we've got that card is happening. It's the best way to describe it. Me and Will have been we got a bit busy this week, so we're going to do a short, quick pick video because it's the tape study time on this hasn't been the highest because the level of interest of mine is certainly dwindled. Will, we're going to jump straight into it, mate, because it's worth getting in and getting out there as quick as possible, kind of like some of my exes. So we've got first up, Hannah Cyphers is stepping in, short notice. There's tons of replacements on this card. And it's Mariya Agapova. So, Will, what do you see in this one?
Yeah, I've totally forgot who Agapova. Melissa Gatto.
She's on the Invicta card.
Yeah. Because I was thinking who is Cyphers replacing, but Melissa Gatto.
Actually,
I think it's because she's coming from Brazil. I don't think they're letting people out of there. But I actually was going to bet Agapova in that spot. I had on a parlay with someone else on the card there, but obviously that got kiboshed, and Hannah Cyphers came in. Obviously she fought 9 days ago. But to be fair, she really took no damage in that fight. It was just a kind of silly fight IQ. So for me, I've got Agapova, but I think this fight could end up being kind of close, even though she is definitely bigger. And Cyphers, to be fair, she's not a 125, she's a 115, and she's even small at 115. And then she's facing someone who is definitely bigger, got a massive reach advantage, is going to tower over her. And she's quite a big flyweight, if we're being honest there. But the experience is on Cyphers' side. I think she's at 8-inch reach disadvantage. So she's going to have to seriously get inside to really hurt Agapova. Like I say, I'm picking Agapova, but I think Cyphers can make this a dogfight because I feel this is going to be more of a stand-up fight. But I like what I see from Agapova, and I like the fact she's at the American top team. And I think every time you see her, she's going to get better. But I'm going to take Agapova. I think she could stop her, but I think it's more likely going to be a decision victory for her there.
I'm with you as well, mate. I'm going Agapova as well. I think she's got a beautiful aggression on the feet with her striking. I think she puts her combinations well together, and she's good in the clinch game as well. That's something I think that's really kind of strong point. I saw the girls try to outmuscle her in the clinch game when they're on there. She's able to reverse it, throw in the short strikes, and she's aggressive on the way out as well. Some girls, obviously, when they break, they don't carry on with the striking. I find that she's good with that. So I think Agapova, she should be able, like you say, I think she should be able to bully Cyphers in this fight. For Cyphers, I don't know what the best route is because on the ground she's not the best, so it's a bit of a weird one. I don't see the point in Cyphers coming back so quick, in my opinion, especially not a matchup like this. So I'm going Agapova too. I think she should be able to light up Cyphers all day long. Next up we have is Ariana Lipski taking on Luana Carolina.
That fight's been scratched. That's not.
There you go. It's another fight being scratched. So,
yeah.
We're going to miss out on Lipski.
It's been rescheduled for a couple of weeks, I think. But I think that's been scratched.
Lovely stuff. See, there's that many fights getting mixed up on this card. I can't even keep track of it. That's how bad it is. Next up, then, welterweight division. Christina Aguilar against Anthony Ivy. I've done a little bit of tape study on this one. Aguilar, he has been on LFA, so he's had the experience on basically one of the best regional shows around prior to UFC debut. He has lost on there and he has won on there. I find that he's got simple boxing. I find that one of the restrictions I find in his style I found was his lack of head movement, and he's not using enough feints or fakes to kind of open opponents up. I'm not saying he's happy to trade one for one, but I don't feel like he's using the most out of a potential having a skill set where he's taking lesser damage. I feel like he will take a few shots to respond back. Anthony Ivy, on the other hand, he's got a collection of different styles of wins, and submission game is something that he has got a little bit of a skill set on. And I'm favouring Anthony Ivy a little bit more in this fight, because when I see Christian Aguilera on the ground, he's very calm when he's in a bad position. But my only qualm with him on that kind of side of things is that he's too calm. He's not aggressively or actively trying to get away from that dangerous position. He's happy to maybe keep his back, give his back up, and not maybe give the sub up. But at the same time, what you're doing is you're running down the clock and you're losing position. So you're losing points, you're losing the round. Anthony Ivy, I find that he could probably go for a submission, chain it to another submission, and he could potentially get this fight won. He's got to obviously get the fight to the ground. I think Aguilar's quite a stocky guy to get down, but Ivy's got a not a bad single leg takedown. So I'm going to go with Ivy. I think potential submission win. I'm not overconfident on this picks, but I'm going to go Ivy on this one.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Ivy in that one, even though I think this is the fight through the week there that as I'm having kind of more opportunity to kind of watch Aguilera a little bit, I think that you can make it close, but I think his gas tank is a little bit susceptible to me, and especially coming in super short notice. It's the same with Ivy. He was supposed to come in and fight GM3 last week, and then obviously got pushed to this week. But I kind of like some bits of Aguilera the more that I kind of see of him. But I think if this fight hits the ground, I think it could be very, very fun, competitive down there. I'm edging, like I said, it's not one I've looked into super amounts. I'm going to take Ivy. But would it surprise me if Aguilera comes in here and wins? Nah, not so much. But like I say, it's one that I would need to watch a little bit more on either side and go from there. So I'll take Ivy via decision.
Next up then, Will, we have featherweight division. We've got Jordan Griffin against Darrick Minor. Not a bad fight, actually. I quite like this matchup.
Yeah, it's. I mean, these guys have fought before a couple of years ago, so if you go back and watch that fight, it's funny, you will see that Jordan Griffin's got the win on his side, but if you watch how that fight went down, he was completely losing that fight, so he lost the first round big, he was getting dominated. It's typical Darrick Minor. He comes out there really, really quick, he gasses really, really badly. He's a guy that's got a lot of wins via submissions, but he's also a guy that's lost by submissions, and I think that kind of plays into the wheelhouse of Jordan Griffin the longer the fight goes on. Darrick Minor's opened like a massive underdog, like a big betting underdog, and that's been bet down, not to my surprise. But I'm going to pick Minor to actually win via submission in the first. I'm going to take him in this one here, but like I say, if he doesn't get it in the first round and a half, you can easily see Jordan Griffin coming in here and just winning the fight through his gas tank. I mean, Jordan Griffin, in my opinion, should never ever be against anybody in the UFC like a 2-1 favourite. And I just think that if Darrick Minor can come out super quick, and he did it against Grant Dawson, he came out quick, but then he faded. It's just a typical. I think he's a really good journeyman pro. He's just not UFC caliber fighter, in my opinion. But I think he could give Jordan Griffin a scare here. I think he is going to find a finish, and. But like I say, I'm not super confident, but I'm going to take Minor.
I'm with you as well. I was going to take Minor because I think that partly there's the revenge side of it. But in the Grant Dawson fight, he was super close to getting that submission in those first rounds. He was super close. There was obviously a moment where I thought the choke was in and it was gone. And it showed like a great form of composure from Grant. Don't get me wrong, I think Jordan Griffin's quite composed, but you find Jordan does get caught in submission positions. He gets caught. He gets a lot of threatening positions put into, because he's a little bit calm. And on the scramble side of things, I think that's where Darrick might catch like a guillotine. I think Jordan's the kind of guy who can maybe reverse something to get up, or something the two of them are getting up, and Darrick might get something in the first round. He's so quick and. He's so quick to jump onto something and see them. Well, that's one of his skill sets. He's very quick at seeing a submission attempt, and when he goes for it, he locks it in fast. He is the quintessential first round or bust. It's something he really, because he puts so much into that first round submission when he's clinging on, he's exhausting his body. But mate, I'm going with you as well. I think Griffin's done well in the UFC so far, but I think that he's not done as well as I thought he would do. I thought Griffin would do a lot better so far in the UFC. I think Minor can just catch out. If he's going to be the kind of guy who will catch a couple of people out in the submission game in the UFC, because he goes so aggressively and so quickly. If you're Griffin, the smart thing to do would just be to keep him on the end of your punches for the first round and just try and keep the distance and wear him out and just tire him down. But I'm going to go with Minor as well with a submission win. Next up, we have in the flyweight division, another change, but Tyson Nam against, forgive me for this, Zarrukh Adashev. Adashev, yeah. Zarrukh Adashev, we'll go with that. Young, inexperienced guy against a ridiculously experienced guy. It's crazy. Like, the former Bellator fighter, Adashev is. Super aggressive dude. Like, he comes and he almost marches forward when he's throwing the punches and swings, not swing for the hills, but he definitely comes forward with an aggressive attitude. You've got Tyson Nam, who's not been that super impressive in the UFC in his UFC tenure. He's not had the best of times, but he is super experienced, man. And I find it hard to go for short notice opponents coming in. I'm going with Tyson Nam in this one. I was going to go... who was Tyson Nam in a fight originally? Whoever Tyson Nam was fighting originally, I was going to go with him.
Ryan
Benoit, yeah. I was actually going to go with Ryan Benoit, which was weird. Only because I just didn't feel like Tyson Nam was doing much in the UFC for what he should be. With his vast years of experience and knowledge. But I think with a guy like this, Adashev is young. He's going to have a lot of charisma and a lot of excitement into the ring. But I think Tyson Nam should be patient and just be able to pick him apart for 3 rounds and get the advantage over this. And of course, being short notice, it can have a factor on his gas tank. Another factor here. So I'm going Tyson Nam on this one.
Yeah, I'm going Tyson Nam. I was actually going to pick Tyson Nam against Ryan. Not that I was super confident. Like I say, a grizzled vet who's been around a long time. He's actually beat some decent guys like your Bagatinovs and that outside of the UFC. I think Eduardo Dantas was one of his victims back in the past as well. Grizzled vet, but like I say, he's the one thing with me with Tyson Nam is that he just doesn't throw anything. When he does throw, he's got some powerful shots. You saw that in the Kai Kara France one, that when he lands pretty flush, he can hurt you, but he just doesn't back you up. He throws one shot at a time, singular shots, and against a majority of people in the UFC, he's going to lose a lot of fights with that. So I don't expect Tyson Nam to really be around the UFC all too much, but when you've got a guy coming in here on 4 or 5 days notice who is 3-1, he's predominantly a kickboxer, who I think he's flashy, but when I watch his striking, I don't think it's great considering he's a kickboxer by trade. Throws a lot of big wing and hooks. So yeah, but like I say, he might have been in a camp and he might have kind of improved some things. I'm going to take Tyson Nam. I think this is a great spot for him if he can come out here and just, like I say, be aggressive. Don't be like patient, sit back, go and throw shots, throw some combinations, try and get this guy out of there. If not, I can see him win a very kind of comfortable decision, but I've got Tyson Nam.
Next up, we have a women's bantamweight division. Julia Avila with the return against Gina Mazany. Go ahead, bro. Yeah,
Gina, they're just like we spoke of this briefly. It's like they're bringing people back that they know they can get in short notice. I mean, they were trying to match up the Tyson Nam fight with Tim Elliott, and Tim Elliott fought 2 weeks ago because they know that he'll fight, but obviously the commission never let him. So they're just bringing people here to kind of fill a card, it looks like to me. Whether they keep Mazany around, I very much doubt it. But I like Avila in this spot. I think she's very strong. She's tough. Like I say, she'll throw big in kind of combinations. And she's very, very aggressive, but she's there to get hit as well. I just think she actually takes a shot pretty well. But yeah, like I said, I think she could be good, Avila. But like I said, I need to see a little bit more of her. I think Mazany, like I said, she's just been brought in here super short notice. I think you said she fought like a 44-year-old.
44-year-old that was her. She got cut from the UFC. Her fight was against a girl who was 44 years old, hadn't fought for 9 years.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't see many path to victories for Mazany in my opinion in this fight. I think it's a good fight for Avila to get another win here and kind of move on. So I'm going to take Avila for the win.
Yeah, I'm the same on the pick. I think she should be able to bully Mazany. I think she especially on the cage, I think she should be able to throw the strikes to get Mazany to back up and get her against the cage, and absolutely pick her apart from there. She should be able to control her against the cage, land heavy knees on the legs and the body, and really just pick her way there and grind Mazany down. I think that she's got a stronger skill set to what Mazany was better known for. I just don't think Mazany's going to be able to overpower her. I don't think she's definitely not got the striking ability to really cause the problem. So unless Mazany can get a trip on Avila and get her on top of her to control her for a bit, I can't really see much happening where Mazany gets the win here. I think Avila should just be able to bully her against the cage, really grind it down. When they break, I think she'll be able to come forward and just land the heavier, like you say, land the heavier shots and really just put Mazany back a bit on the back foot. I don't really see her doing much in this, so I think Mazany might even get cut straight away after this fight, Will. I'm with you on that one. Or they might just keep her just in case they need a short notice step in again. That's what they might be on for the next month and a half, 2 months. They might keep, especially stateside, they might have a load of people on the books as short notice ones. Next up we have, in the lightweight division, a more promising bout than of bouts. Charles Rosa back again against Kevin Aguilar. Fun super fight matchup. Two kind of guys who have a lot of experience and knowledge. Weird to see Charles Rosa with such a quick turnaround. That's the kind of thing that caught me off guard. Obviously, he lost his last bout. I'm actually going to pick Charles Rosa in this one. I kind of feel like he had that last fight. I didn't perform the best, but he has got some great parts of his game, which Kevin Aguilar, for me, can get at him, and I think Charles Rosa on the grappling aspect can really take advantage of Kevin Aguilar. I think Charles Rosa on the feet with Kevin Aguilar, they'll exchange some strikes, but I think if Charles Rosa can, he should get Kevin Aguilar to the ground, and I think he can really apply his top game there and really start to get a dominant decision win. I just think Charles Rosa, if he's fighting more often, he's far more impressive. I think when he has these breaks that he has, these gaps, it's like he's just getting back in the swing of it again. And so I'm going with Charles Rosa on this one. When I watch the tapes, I think Kevin Aguilar can hit hard. I think on the ground, Kevin Aguilar's got some good grappling aspects in his own right. His own credentials are good as well, solid credentials. But I don't know. My head kind of going towards Charles Rosa on this one. I can't really explain it wholeheartedly. It's the best I could explain to you all, but I'm going for Charles Rosa, Will.
Yeah, I'm going to go the other side here. I'm going to go with Aguilar. I think that Rosa, I was really surprised. I bet Charles Rosa against Bryce Mitchell, which in hindsight was a really bad bet, but I did not see Bryce Mitchell completely controlling Rosa like he did. He absolutely ran through Charles Rosa and on the ground as well, which really surprised me because Rosa's a Ricardo Laborio black belt as well, so a really good black belt. But outside of that, really, he throws a lot of output, but he's got no power behind it.
No.
I actually watched, what was a fight I was watching last night? It was Shane Burgos against Charles Rosa. I was looking ahead to next week, and I mean, he landed a lot of leg kicks. He even landed a good couple of overhands and caught him, but like Bryce Mitchell, Shane Burgos just ate them, just like, is that all you've got? And he was not phased with the power at all. So when I look at this matchup, he's not going to push someone like Aguilar back, and Aguilar can counter really, really well. So outside him outstriking Aguilar, which I don't think he's going to get the opportunity to do, or getting the fight to the ground, where Aguilar's actually got pretty good takedown defense, I think he's in for a little bit of a tough fight here, especially coming back a couple of weeks. And I know he was on majority of the ground of that fight against Bryce Mitchell, but he still took a few licks down there and took a few beatings and stuff. So I think it's a good matchup for Aguilar, but I think that Rosa could make it close. So I'm not super confident. I just think that I think Aguilar kind of causes more problems than what Rosa does for Aguilar. So I'm going to take Kevin Aguilar.
Nice. Okay, bro. Next up, bantamweight division. On the main card, Jourdain Espinosa against Mark Della Rosa.
I like Espinosa, but I'm not confident because we've seen that his kind of kryptonite is submission grapplers. And what's Mark Della Rosa's probably strongest point? Submission grapplers. But he needs to get the fight there because on the feet I think he's a little bit outgunned a little bit. I think the athleticism of Jourdain Espinosa is far superior to what Mark's is. I think Espinosa got more power. He's more explosive. Throws a lot more shots. I think he's less hittable than what De La Rosa is. He's very kind of stationary with his head movement. You see in the last fight with Paiva. Paiva was really catching him with shots, and then that length just caught him with a knockout. And I'm surprised he's actually got another fight here. But again, the UFC are probably getting as many fighters as they can to throw into these cards, and he threw his name in the hat and got himself a fight. Like I said, I'm a little bit concerned if this goes past 1.5 rounds. And some of this fight's taking place on the ground because I think that's where De La Rosa can win. But I'm going to take Espinosa. I'm actually going to pick him via knockout. I think he catches a knockout blow here in De La Rosa and sends him on his way, and Jourdain Espinosa gets back on the win column here. So Espinosa for me.
Yeah, De La Rosa going, I think, mix it up between flyweight and bantamweight. Espinosa will probably have the size advantage. As well, for me, Mark De La Rosa, he doesn't seem to be a strong man. Like, I'm not saying I don't feel like he's got a strong takedown. He's good on the ground because he's got good technique. But I feel like if he had that strength to get people down, it would aid his game a lot more. Yeah, I think Jourdain, there's no way that his coaches have not informed him that he's not got the best takedown defense. I would be bewildered if he has not been working on it as well. And especially with a guy like Mark De La Rosa, like if you can nail those takedowns, you've got the win. End of. Because there's no way De La Rosa's going to outstrike you. He's not got the speed, De La Rosa, with the strikes in his hands. He's not got the kind of good combinations. I think as long as Espinosa, if I'm him, I wouldn't bother with leg kicks too much. I would just keep it on the hands, keep that jab. He's got a really nice jab when he shoots it out because he really extends the body and puts a lot of length into them. I'm picking Espinosa because I think he should. I think, like I say, Will, one of the things you said was bang on, was the fact he doesn't move his head a lot, De La Rosa. And I think that's something that Espinosa can take advantage of with that jab. It's so quick. As long as he can break that momentum and movement and kind of rhythm that De La Rosa has with that jab, it will just break him for the whole fight. So I'm going Espinosa as well, Will. I think he should be able to win the jab and the face off him. Next up we have featherweight division. Fun matchup. Andre Fili, Charles Jourdain. Charles Jourdain kind of getting I want to say a bump up, so to speak, after his last performance against Choi. But he's an interesting character. I'm going with Andre Fili straight away off the belt. I think Andre Fili's a far more well-rounded fighter than Charles Jourdain. I think that Andre Fili's just a really all-round solid guy, and I'd say he's coming into his own. But I know he lost his Yusuf, but Yusuf hits like a freight train and lost decision. But you know, look, the performance against Shaman Moraes was absolutely beautiful. The Miles Jury performance was decent as well. I enjoyed that. The Michael Johnson fight, solid performance as well. Benavidez performance. Like, he's fought a plethora of absolutely high-level guys. And I feel like Andre Fili is still getting better. I still feel like he's showing improvements in his fight game. I think Charles Jourdain is going to show a bit of a little bit of inexperience when the two of them fight, mate. I think Charles Jourdain as well. One of the things he shows, you can leg kick him. Leg kicks are there, man. Choi, for me, for some reason, he stopped leg kicking later on in the fight, and he should have stuck to it. Andre Fili, that would be in my bank straight away. I'd be like, I'm going to leg kick him, I'm going to knock him off, switch him over to southpaw, and then just keep leg kicking, and then go upstairs for the head kick. I'm going Andre Fili, mate. I think he should take the win here.
Yeah, I'm on Fili as well. I think that, to me, Fili's one of these guys that I think for right now and probably the next couple of years is going to be a fringe top 15 guy. I think he's always going to be around there, and he's going to get some good wins, and he's going to be probably one of these gatekeepers to maybe get you into that top 15 like a Yusuf. And like, he fought hard in that when he caught Yusuf with good strikes, but just Yusuf's he's a hard guy to fight. Those African guys that hit hard and they can take a shot and they can do everything pretty well. We're seeing the kind of influx of the guys from Africa, and he's one of those. But Fili, in my opinion, I think a switch stance striker. I think both guys are actually pretty good switch stance strikers, and I think he fights off a jab very, very well. I think that's what he'll do here, because Jourdain throws a lot of kind of flashy stuff, and he can be open to being countered. And he came through. There's a lot of people on the Jourdain side because he came through against Doho Choi as a big underdog. So I think people are back on him here. But to me, when I look at Andre Fili, I just think he's far above the better fighter here. I think that he can really take the fight wherever he really wants. He just has to be careful on the feet, because Jourdain, to me, he is a good flashy striker, but he throws a little bit too much, in my opinion, where Fili throws the kind of meat and potatoes and lands a lot and can really mix up. I think wrestling-wise, I think he can take Jourdain down pretty easily, actually. I think he can. So For me, I'm going to take Fili. I think he does everything he's supposed to. I think he mixes up his game a little bit, gets some takedowns, and maybe try and get the finish. But I maybe see him taking a decision win here for Andre Fili.
Next up we have Merab is back against Ray Borg.
Yeah.
Will, fun battle. I've pretty much got this cemented down who I'm going with, but who are you going for, bro?
Yeah, it's Merab. Yeah, in this spot you can't really pick against him, in my opinion. Not unless the only thing that kind of worries me is just kind of like the Ricky Simone fight, getting caught. And Ray Borg is probably a little bit of an opportunistic guy with his jiu-jitsu. He can be, but he's a guy that can be taken down in numerous times. I mean, and you're against the guy probably in the division who takes down people more than anybody. So the guy's been in the UFC 5 fights and he's averaging 8 takedowns a fight. Not that he holds you there.
No.
Like, he's one of those guys that flash takedowns, gets you down. You can work your way back to your feet very, very easily. He's not like a top position guy, but he goes, and he's just so hard, and his pace is through the roof. The one thing I will say for Borg, and he only fought a couple of weeks ago against Ricky Simone, and his striking looked amazing. When he managed to get it off, he landed some great strikes, but again, couldn't defend the takedown. And then now you're against the guy who he gets some kind of for fun here. So I find it hard to pick Ray Borg in this spot. And I like Merab. I must admit, I really like watching him fight because you know, even though he doesn't really get finishes, he's all action and he goes, and you know what's coming. And he's a hard guy to kind of get ready for that. And he's got some good wins. Katona's a good win. Casey Kenny's a good win. Mm-hmm. And he's right on that kind of fringe of being ranked. But I just find it hard for Borg to stop these takedowns. I've seen numerous takedowns in this fight, and Merab should kind of run out a pretty comprehensive win on the scorecards, in my opinion here.
I'm with you. I can't say much more than Merab should just tear through Ray Borg. I think Ray Borg's just going to he's just going to have that flustered, frustrated look on him by like the second round when he gets taken down again. You'll see his face just go, and you'll see that he can't figure it out. He can't stop it. He can't get the answers. Kind of like people who face Khabib, you know, they just see their frustration in their face going, I'm down again, because they can't stop it. Merab's the kind of similar kind of entity. He will get you down. You can't stop it. You've got to get up. You fight to get up. Then he puts you back down again. By the time you fought to get up and he gets you back down, that clock is gone. You've lost the round. You know, you're not going to get much in there. I can't see Ray Borg doing much. Merab all day. It should be easy pickings for him. Co-main event, middleweight, Karl Roberson against Marvin Vettori. Interesting to see this fight matchup, how Marvin performs, because I like I said, he was meant to fight in London, wasn't he? Was it London card he was meant to fight in? I think it was, yeah. So he's looking to get back into it. Karl Roberson, I think Marvin should win this fight against Karl Roberson. I think Karl has got some good kind of striking on his side of things. I think he's a kickboxer, isn't he, by trade off the top of my head, but I feel his output's a little bit low for me. And I think Vettori's output is way different. I think he's got a higher output. I thought the fight against Wellington was not a bad. It was an interesting fight and a good matchup. I thought Wellington showed a lot of heart in that fight and showed a lot of skill set in himself. But when you look at what he's done, it seems that when he gets a striker, Karl sometimes tries to get strikers down to the ground. Darren Stewart, Jack Marshman. I know they're British, so you probably thought they didn't have the stronger takedowns as well, as one of the factors that came into it. But if he thinks they're good strikers, he'll try to get them to the ground. I think he'll have a tough time getting Marvin down to the ground. I think Marvin will use boxing in this fight. Leg kicks on Karl Roberson is something you've got to look out for. He's got very good leg kicks. If he can land them a few times, it'll start to cause problems. But I just think, for me, Karl doesn't just have enough output. I feel like he's a bit of too much of a patient striker, and maybe trying to land the perfect punch. But I think Marvin here should be able to defend any takedown attempts from Karl Roberson, and I think Marvin should get the win here. I think he should be able to either get a decision win with the output and getting Karl Roberson out of the way. So I'm going to Marvin Vettori all the way. Yeah,
it's weird. This fight was supposed to take place a couple of weeks back, wasn't it? And Karl Roberson pulled out on fight day, I think, due to he got ill or whatever it might be, or
and it kicked off in the hotel.
Yeah. So, but the only thing I kind of don't like with that is the fact that Vettori's got to make another weight cut, and from what I hear, it's not an easy weight cut for him. So that kind of I don't know why it worries me. I know it's another weight cut in a short space of time, but when you look at Roberson's losses, he really only loses to kind of grapplers. But you've got someone here in Vettori here, I think can mix it up a little bit, but he is predominantly front foot fighter who comes forward and looks to kind of put the pressure on. And I think he will have opportunities to do that against Roberson, but I think Roberson has some of the tools to maybe get the respect of Vettori early, because he is a kickboxer by trade and he can land some good strikes. But I just don't know how long he's going to be able to keep Vettori kind of off him, because Vettori, to me, he seems like he can gas a little bit, but he seems like he can keep, it's weird, he keeps a steady pace, but he looks like he's gassing. So I think he's got to kind of make Vettori miss, and he's got to counter very, very well. So it's just that I'm not sure whether he can do that. The betting line, in my opinion, I think it's dog or pass, in my opinion. I think you need to take the shot on Roberson, who is a pretty big underdog here. But like I say, it's weird because I actually had a bet with Vettori a couple of weeks ago to beat Roberson, but I've just kind of weaned myself off that. I'm going to pick Vettori, but I think this fight could be razor close. So I should probably maybe take the dog in Roberson, but I'm going to take Vettori because I think his pressure initially will kind of show off more in the judge's eyes, and he'll win a decision through that. Maybe a stoppage, actually. I think he could actually submit him if he gets him to the ground and establish top position.
Nice. So next up, ladies and gentlemen, main event, Jessica Rai, Cynthia Calvillo. Will, what are you looking at here, bro?
Yeah, first of all, I'll say I love Cynthia Calvillo because she's such a nice girl. She really is. I was saying on the opportunity I had in my podcast doing it, it's like it was her birthday roundabout in Glasgow, and she was kind of enemy number one because she was fighting Jojo in Glasgow, but she was the nicest girl. She really, really was, and a really nice kind of girl to be around. And she's a good fighter. She's established herself as a good fighter. She's obviously moving up. She's had some problems making the weight, as is Jessica Rai. She missed weight last time by like 5 pounds. Yeah. So both girls have had that, but it's a hard fight for me to really feel confident in either side. I'm seeing more people kind of confident in the eye side, and I can see why, especially when she was an underdog. Now I think it's pretty much a pick-em, with a lean maybe on Calvillo as the underdog. But Jessica Rai, I thought last time, she looked really, really good against Rosa. So, and obviously she was coming off that devastating head kick knockout to Valentina. And I think she's someone whose boxing is far crisper. She's got far more volume than what's Calvillo. And she's improved her wrestling, and she's moved out to Vegas, where I think she's got more eyes on her. And if you watch in between rounds of her fights, that they give her really sound, solid advice, which she seems to take on board. And she really only loses to kind of predominantly really top, not I was going to say top class grapplers, but grapplers by trade. But she is very hittable as well. I think she can absorb some strikes from Calvillo. In my opinion, if Calvillo cannot get this fight to the ground, I think she's going to be out-volumed, and she's going to be at a disadvantage for the majority of the fight. And she's a little bit smaller. You've got someone who fought bantamweight in Jessica Rai. But Calvillo, like I say, her boxing's definitely improved. Her striking's improved because she came into the UFC as a grappler only. She was very dominant in that in her early UFC fights. But that started to really get better as kind of fights go on, and like I say, she's got good takedowns. She can control and she can pass, and she's got submissions. So obviously that's where her strengths lie, and she needs to try and get it there. I just don't think she's going to be able to get into like a position where she can get those. But like I say, I think if she doesn't get it there, she's going to be outpointed, she's going to be outvolumed. She's moved to AK, which is interesting, because I know she's got a good group of people that she's kind of training with there. But she's hittable as well. So for me, I think it's Jessica Rai, and Calvillo I think could gas a little bit if she's trying for these takedowns and putting a lot of effort into getting these takedowns. But like I say, it could be one of these things where she gets her down once and submits her once, kind of like what Stalin did last week. So I'm going to pick Jessica Rai. I think she'll win the fight, but I would actually prefer to see Cynthia win because, like I say, she's a nice girl, and I wish her all the best and all that many years ago, and wish her the best going forward. But I'm going to pick Jessica Rai here.
Yeah. My heart would like Cynthia, but my head's saying Jessica Rai. I think experience, size is going to be a factor. Cynthia obviously made her kind of career in the flyweight, in the strawweight division. Now she's up to flyweight. Jessica Rai is going to certainly have a size advantage. I think takedown defense wise, with that size that Jessica I will have, it will definitely play a factor into Cynthia, because she'll have to try and outmuscle someone she'll probably have a bit of difficulty with. So technique is going to be key. Taking her off her feet, angles, everything's going to be massive for Cynthia. She has to be precise with the takedowns, action at the right time. And Jessica I, if you heard, just box this fight, just box this game. You don't need to throw many kicks. Not that she's not that it's really a forte, but I think Jessica I could really output this fight with high jabs, and really could put Cynthia on the back foot and just pester her and just keep on her. I don't think Jessica I is the best fighter we've seen. You know, she kept harping on about being so awesome at flyweight, and then she got the opportunity and she got absolutely skyrocketed by Shevchenko. Keeps trying to blab her way onto Joe Rogan's podcast. It's desperate. It's absolutely despicable how desperate she is to get on there. No one wants to see that, Jessica. Just give you a heads up. No one wants to see her on there. But I think Jessica I should be able to win this. I don't think handedly, because, like you say, Cynthia has grown and improved. It'll be interesting to see what she'd like at 125 without the stress of the cutting down to 115. But I'm more interested to see what her size is like at 125 compared to someone like a big 125er in Jessica I. I just think advantage I with so many ways, and especially her knowledge and experience in the fight game. She's been around for so long. I think Jessica I will stick around in that flyweight division for a little while, around the top kind of 5 echelon, and she'll be a gatekeeper in about year or two, because the kind of skill set of the flyweight will go up, and she's just obviously not on the latter part of her career. Last few years, I think Jessica I could have in her, but yeah, I've got to go Jessica I as well. I just can't see why she'd lose to Cynthia. That's our picks, but we are going to go to bets now, Will. And if there is any bets that are, well, the lines now at the moment are what they are, of all the different changes on the fight card.
Yeah, this to me is a rough kind of card for betting. So I had one bet, and it was Agapova and Fili. I had them parlayed, and obviously Agapova fell off, so now she's got a new opponent, so it's really just a straight bet on Andre Fili. I've got him at like minus 200, where his line's like minus 225 now, but like I say, it's a really, really rough card for betting. I was thinking about betting Jessica I. She was the underdog initially, but I wanted to watch some fights. And then by the time I got there, she's now kind of moved into the favourite there, so I was kind of a little bit slow in that spot. I want to like bet Merab. I think he has got like a good at least 80% chance of winning. Like minus 400, and that's kind of risky. I don't usually kind of bet big favourites, even in parlays, but if I'm looking at straight bets, then now maybe Espinosa, Aguilar might be a couple I'm looking at. Tyson Nam might be a guy that I could throw into a parlay with someone later on in the week, but it's like I said, I'm not too confident Vettori, considering I bet him a couple of weeks ago. I don't know. I think I'm going to be very, very light in this one. I like the card more next week for betting. So as of right now, I've just got Andre Fili, and I'll be surprised if I only have one play by the weekend. So not too much, if I'm being honest with you. I'm looking more into next week.
Well, everyone is looking more into next week.
Yeah.
You know, next week, ladies and gentlemen, you've got the incredible, awesome fight with Blades and Volkov. So that'll be interesting to watch out. You've got Emmett and Burgos. Whew. Lyman good. Belal Muhammad.
Yeah, next week's good.
Yeah, Raquel Pennington. Marina Renault. You got Gillian Robertson against Courtney Casey. Tisha Torres. Brianna Van Bergen. Frank Camacho against Matt Frivola. Awesome, violent fight. It's Bobby Green, Clay Guida, Jim Miller, Robert Roosevelt. I'm not being... Roosevelt Roberts, sorry, it's insane. That card is levels above this card this week. So I'm absolutely stoked for that fight. So ladies and gentlemen, give us your picks below, give us your bets below. Thank you for joining in. We'll be back next week for a far more entertaining card. So yeah, join us all then.